Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to episode number 10 of the CheckX series. I am back in my regular spot. If you did see, the last episode is a little bit unusual, and sorry if that episode was a little lower quality, but we're back. We're back in the city, and we're gonna get right into this. And by the way, episode number 10, we have made it to the double digits, everybody. I honestly didn't really know. Excuse me. I honestly didn't really know if I had the motivation to actually make it this far, even though it's not that far if I really think about it. So, yeah, I don't know. But the point is, we're going to get straight into this. Elon, yes, we're going to talk about everything Elon posted based on politics, SpaceX, and things like that. Also, more EU updates. In terms of that $140 million fine, and we're gonna get into that. If you guys do want to get an update on that, you guys can look at the previous episode and the episode before that. I don't think we talked about. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, point is, Elon yesterday posted about 88 times, a little over 80 times. It was somewhere in that range, at least I think. And I think again, if you're a repeated watcher, and by the way, welcome back if you are, of this series, then you already know a little over half of that is going to be about politics today. Anyway, I'm wasting too much time on this intro, so sorry. Let's get straight into this. First thing we're going to talk about is SpaceX and AI and stuff like that. So first off, talking about SpaceX valuation and contracts, Elon, starting off, replied concerning the valuation model by noting that satellites with localized AI compute should be considered a major additional factor. And also, Elon confirmed that NASA will provide under 5% of SpaceX's revenue next year, and emphasizing that SpaceX earned its contrast by offering the best product at the lowest price. So definitely at the top of all markets there in terms of astronomy and things like that, and rockets, which is really great to see. Excuse me. Also because it's private owned, not by the government. You know what? Never mind. Anyway, moving on. Elon also shared a photo that Starship is Starship stacked on its boosters, the largest rocket in the world, obviously, and we've gone over that many times. Not in the series, but just in general. And it's really cool to see. And also, Elon replied, back to prison for Bannon, in response to a pundit claiming SpaceX's revenue is 100% government contracts. Don't really know where that was going. Yeah. Anyway, Elon also reposted that commercial Starlink service accounts for the majority of SpaceX's revenue, which I wouldn't be surprised because Falcon 9's been launching up a lot of those all of those Starlink satellites, and soon to be also Starship launching those, which is going to be pretty great to see. And also, Elon reposted news that the Starlink direct-to-call service has reached LATAM, with Chile claiming its first signal, which is great to see. So South America, nice to see activity going on there. Also, talking about the AI satellite infrastructure and energy scaling, things like that. Elon stated that satellites with localized AI compute, where only results are beamed back from low latency synchronous orbit, by the way, will be the lowest cost way to generate AI bit streams in less than 3 years, and the fastest way to scale. So a lot of improvement on there. And also, Elon calculated that 1 megaton. Elon calculated one megaton a year of satellites at 100 kilowatts per satellite yields 100 gigawatts. Yields 100 gigawatts of AI added per year with no operating or maintenance cost, which is that's crazy. That's really, really crazy. I'll be honest. And also, moving on, Elon also discussed constructing satellite factories on the moon, and using a mass driver, like an electromagnetic railgun, for example, to accelerate AI satellites to lunar escape velocity without rockets. Literally some cyberpunk shit. Like that's crazy. That's something you would see straight out of a video game. That's honestly like electromagnetic railgun. Yeah, holy shit. Anyway, sorry about that, but like I had to say that. Anyway, Elon also estimated that lunar factories could scale to more than 100 terawatts a year of AI and enable progress towards the Kardartesiv 2. Kardartesiv 2 civilization. I think I did pronounce that wrong. I don't know why I said it over so many times. Sorry about that. Anyway, Elon also confirmed that the plan involves frequent Starship launches, noting that 1 megaton per year would require 25 or more Starship launches in a day. And also, Elon said that Exowatt, Elon replied, Exowatt, or you're not really trying, referring to an enormous unit of power, which is equivalent to 1 million terawatts in the context of power scaling. And also, last but not least here, Elon also replied that he did not realize the Dyson Sphere program was a video game. And that pretty much small little, again, sub-segment pretty much to add on to this, and then we're obviously going to move on to the EU politics, more immigration, free speech, things like that. More beef with the EU, which is interesting to see. But yeah, here we're going to talk about a little bit about a couple things on XAI and Grok. So starting off, in terms of Grok development and like integration and stuff like that, Elon announced that Grok 420 is coming out in 3 to 4 weeks, which is going to be great to see. I'd love to try that out. And also, he reposted that the XAI hackathon, noting that first place winners received an all expenses paid trip to a Starship launch. That's wow. that's cool. And also, Elon replied, interesting, to a post that suggested thinking of large language models, or LLMs, and not as entities but as simulators. And also, Elon quoted a post showing that Grok integrated with navigation commands in a Tesla, adding the comment, try Grok. Elon added that, by the way. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up that. Now we're getting to the boring parts. No, I'm joking. It's not that boring. It's been pretty active recently because of the whole beef with the EU that Elon has been having, and calling them out a lot, actually. And anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk about things like X, EU politics, which EU, by the way, if you aren't fully aware, it stands for European Union. It's stationed in Brussels, which is in Belgium. And yeah, that's just a short little description. And also a little bit on free speech. First off, starting off on the EU situation and X performance, Elon stated and replied, cool and yep, regarding X becoming the #1 news app in all 27 EU countries and being the only platform that refused the EU's secret censorship deal. And also, Elon noted that X's success despite censorship attempts is an example of the Strand effect. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. That's spelled STRYEND. By the way, if that's obviously not clear. And also, Elon confirmed that the tyrannical, unelected bureaucracy oppressing the people of Europe is located in Brussels and Strasbourg. And Strasbourg, I believe, is a place in, I know Central Europe. I'm pretty sure that's Germany. And also, Elon called for the EU to be abolished, which we also talked about last episode, asking how long before the EU is gone? Abolish the EU. And also, Elon suggested that for the EU to be a functional Western civilization bloc, the head of the EU needs to be directly elected by the people, and not only the EU Parliament should have the power to propose legislation. And also, Elon replied that he's a big fan of Europe, but not bureaucrats. Who are smothering the continent, excuse me. And also, Elon said, throw Elon said, throw off the yoke of bureaucracy. And also, he agreed that the JP Morgan CEO, Jamie Dimon, was right that Europe has driven out of business, that Europe has driven out of business, investment, and innovation, which is not a good sight to see. Excuse me. And also, Elon replied pretty much, in terms of critique of the EU bureaucracy and stuff, Elon said that stated that the European Union is not democracy rule of the people, but a rather bureaucracy rule of the unelected bureaucrat. And also, Elon replied pretty much to a graphic contrasting the EU logo with the symbol, the World War II symbol. You know, I'm not 100% sure. Again, this is uncut footage because I promise that's what this series is all about. I'm not even sure if I could say this, but swastika. That symbol. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Elon also said that many politicians in Europe are traitors to their own people, and also he replied LMAO, which is LMAO, laughing my ass off, to a post contrasting the EU's positive self-opinion, which is gold stars, with its poor user reviews as a 1 star. That's just screams something if you really think about it. But anyway, Elon also replied with flames to a member of the European Parliament calling the fine on X an act of censorship. And also, Elon reposted a member of the a member of the European Parliament saying that the EU poses an existential threat to the European freedom and sovereignty. And also, Elon called a situation where the EU Parliament member publicly requested a user's ID to sue them nuts. And he replied nuts to that. And Elon agreed that establishing a mechanism for a binding referendum, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that word wrong, on the EU's future trajectory is a good idea. And also, he said yes to the idea that the U.S. needs to stop subsidizing European tyranny. And also, in terms of censorship and platform issues, Elon explained that when he bought Elon explained that he bought Twitter because there was a civilizational danger where major online platforms and legacy media were all just behaving in lockstep, leading to widespread censorship, which is something you really don't want, obviously. And that's, no. I mean, it's freedom of speech, a lot of stuff on that. It's all related, really. Anyway, Elon also confirmed that all Twitter verification costed $15,000, and Elon replied, good question, when asked how Meta's verified blue check is different from X's given the EU fines. And also last couple things here. Elon also reposted the determination of the European Commission ad account after they used a deceptive method, disguising a link as a video to promote their fine announcement. And also, last but not least here, Elon replied with a heart to a post stating that he saved free speech. And also, again, more of a subtopic, but still on the same thing here, because talking about immigration and social issues, which we pretty much talk about every episode, and a lot about European immigration, and violence, and speaking of which, we're going to start with that. Elon reposted a comment saying that Europe's immigration issues and suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe. And also, he asked a question, when does it become a genocide, considering reports of killings or grapes? I'm not saying the actual word, YouTube, calm down. Or grapes by non-European migrants and refugees. Never mind, I'm not going to mention that. Anyway, Elon asked a good question regarding why aggravated sentencing for racially motivated crimes, like those committed by grooming gangs in the UK, doesn't seem to happen. And also, he replied with 2 exclamation marks to stories concerning sexual violence committed by migrants in Europe. And also, he confirmed that the left is coming to kill by replying 100% to a post about threats made to against conservative figures. And also, Elon replied, true, to the remigration or deporting convicted foreigners is a completely normal opinion and option. And also a couple things on racial and ideological ideological things, excuse me. Elon, in response to someone advocating the extermination of white people, he stated it's not okay and confirmed he's advocating extermination of whites. And also, Elon stated that when far-left legacy media refers to the far right, they actually mean centrists. And also, Elon reposted a post about Enoch Burke, excuse me for pronouncing that name wrong, a teacher jailed for refusing to use a student's preferred pronouns, which was they, them. I don't know. Anyway, couple things here before we wrap up the episode about U.S. politics and economics. Elon talked about U.S. fraud and justice and the justice system, and talking about how Elon agreed that the Fed's performance is shocking, comparing them to poor air traffic controllers by replying true. And also, Elon claimed that California, New York, Illinois, and things like that, and states like that have vastly highly fraud that is aided and embedded by the state. And also, he reposted a story about a serial rapist in Minnesota who received 0 prison time, with the county attorney claiming politicizing the case harms the Somali community. Anyway, shout out my dad. Anyway, last couple things here. Depending on they're talking about wealth and taxation. One thing here, Elon replied, I build a lot of things, and exactly in agreement with the idea that taxing his wealth or equity in companies forces share sales and weakens productive firms. Almost like it's a theoretical and almost like it's hypothetically an attack on Elon. Specifically to be against Elon, you know what I mean? Like, notice the pattern. Anyway, last thing here in terms of a miscellaneous post. Elon reposted a polar bear of an enormously fat polar bear gorging on a whale carcass on the coast of Norway, which was pretty funny. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up episode number 10. We have made it to the double digits, everybody. I can't talk. Yeah, woo, yeah, whatever, I guess. Yeah, anyway, that wraps up this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow on episode 11. I hope I hate Mondays, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.